Hello heathens, and welcome to my channel. I am Beauty Heathen, and welcome to tonight's reading. If you are returning to my channel, thank you for your continued support. If you are new here, I welcome you and I thank you for joining us. And if you have been watching so far and have not quite done so yet, please be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and ring that bell to be notified of when I release new videos. I see my analytics. I see a lot of the people watching are not subscribed. Every hit of that subscription button helps. So, today I wanted to try to get an idea as to when we can expect some sort of normalcy to return to society, I guess you could say. I think it's something that's been weighing on all of our minds. We've seen so many things in the media and conflicting information, and now more panic is spreading than is being resolved with the things with the job market, the things with the finances, Wall Street, the stocks. The Federal Reserve even reduced the interest rate to 0%, so that's a little scary, but we'll see how things turn up. I've been trying to do this video for about an hour and 45 minutes, and things just were not working right, so had to kind of release the energy from my cards because something kept nagging at them and me again through them. So, yeah. Hopefully, I know I'm taking a while to shuffle this one, but I'm shuffling until I feel it's right. Okay. Let's see. Hold your vision. Fixed moon. Your hard work is paying off. Show the world the real you. Adjustments are required. And lastly, a time to give rather than take. So right now, I get the feeling from this that the main thing that we all have to do right now is hold in our minds that things are going to be okay. I know things are a bit scary right now. I know we have a lot of panic buying still going on. We have people really scared. People who have lost their jobs currently, whether it be laid off because business is closed. Excuse me, I'm yawning. I get the feeling from this that there's still some work left to be done, some sort of equilibrium still in the works of being reset, hence the adjustments are required. So, as far as this portion of the reading, if you're watching this trying to figure out when things are going to get back to normal, the key point right here is to try to hold on to that things are going to be okay and keep envisioning the world getting back to normal. That this issue is being resolved, and forgive me if I'm censoring it a bit. YouTube has been taking down people's videos if they talk about this issue, so I'm trying to make sure content stays up. Let's see what we can find out here. When will things return to normal? I got a date just kind of popped in my head. And get the feeling it's going to be around April 11th. I know that's still a ways out, and I'm not saying that things won't start to improve in the time being. I'm not saying that businesses won't reopen and things won't start getting back to normal, but I get the feeling that real normalcy is gonna take a little bit longer. Today's the 19th. It'll be the 20th when I post that, so about another 3 weeks. Triumph. There you go. Things are gonna be okay. Accelerated motion. Balance. Patience. Victory and success. That's the second victory card. Throat chakra. I automatically, when the throat chakra pops up with regards to this particular subject, I automatically am seeing that I know it has to do with upper respiratory area, but in the scheme of this, I get the feeling that we're going to hear something. Emotional withdrawal, that is on par with what's going on right now. New beginnings. We do stand your ground. Material and spiritual prosperity. So things are going to get better. And passion ignited. Not a single card here is negative. Not saying that the cards inferring, you know, some sort of upheaval or loss are necessarily a negative thing. Loss is part of life. You know, we all come onto this earthly plane. We all go through changes in our reality. We all experience loss to some degree, whether it be in people, whether it be in items, could be job, but it looks like things are definitely making a drastic shift in a positive direction. I get the feeling that this social distancing has really made a big difference. Get the feeling one more. Truth. Ooh. So we're gonna find out some things. If you watched my previous video on this subject, I said that I got the feeling that something was being hidden from us. Looks like it may very well come to the foreground. Let's see. Hope. The waiting game, which is literally what it is. And awareness. I'm just gonna kind of vent this out of my mind. Something has been ruminating in my mind for the past few days with regards to this, and with all the environmental activism and everything that's been going on, with people saying we need to make change and we need to do immediate change now. Otherwise, things are going to get out of control. It's interesting to me. I'm not saying that they're necessarily connected, but it's interesting to me how something literally transpired to force us to change. I'm not saying it's permanent change, but it's something that this whole event has really made us humble. It's humbled a lot of people. I know as humans we seem to always think that we're in control of everything, or that we strive to be in control of everything. And this whole event just took all of our control away. All the plans, all the things that we had set in stone in our minds of how things were going to be tomorrow, and then all of a sudden governments are telling people to stay home and shut things down and self-quarantine and practice social distancing. And how different the earth has been since people slowed down. Seeing the carbon emissions decrease exponentially, seeing swans and dolphins return to the canals in Venice where they haven't been, being able to see down to the very bottom of the water. And the realization of I almost get the feeling that, and again, this is just my intuition, that here we've had the earth telling us for a long time what it needed, and we've been ignoring it. We've been continuing to pollute it. We've been continuing to cause all this havoc and mayhem and all these kinds of things, and then all of a sudden the earth kind of like kicks us in the butt back and says, oh no, you're not in control. You're not in the control that you think you're in, and forces us all to slow down and stop. It's just a thought that's been circulating in my mind, and I haven't been able to get it out. And in a way, I almost get the feeling from Foundation, one more, obstacles and challenges. I almost get the feeling that this was in some way a message to us that we have to change. We know ourselves as human beings that we are literally the creators of our own destruction with how we have treated this earth, with how we treat one another, and that the very things that we do every single day have an impact on not only the environment around us, and the plants, and the animals, the soil, the trees, all of that, all of these things around us, we impact in some way. And with all of the I guess you could say, warning signs that have been coming to us. We just kept going. Let me see what the next deck says. I'm going to try the Sacred Traveler deck. Again, this is a newer deck for me, so I may have to end up looking up cards. I'll pull over my Energy Oracle cards in my Universal Wisdom deck. If you haven't seen or checked out the Tarot Priest's channel, I do recommend her. I don't know if she took down her video already, because I did see earlier she had done a reading regarding this issue, but I know that with the way that YouTube has been going with its demands of ad-friendly content, that you can face monetization issues, I guess you could say, if you speak about certain subjects on your channels. If you swear too much, if you bring up subjects that they don't necessarily deem to be universally friendly to advertisers. It's a very sticky wicket, I guess you could say. Keep adjusting this light. My ring light that I use for lighting in my videos, it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. With, if I turn it off, it casts, big shadows get cast over the table from the light I have in the background over here. And then if I put it on, it kind of washes things out a bit. Rainbow blessings. Blessings are showering your life. Faraway places, get ready for new horizons. That just insinuates a new beginning. Unknown territory, you are exactly where you need to be. Stepping into power, you are strong beyond measure. Distant thunder, clear the air. That's an interesting card. Infinite abundance. Abundance is pouring into your life. And one more. Narrow pathway. Tread thoughtfully. So yeah, very much all of this situation that has been going on has really forced us all to slow down. And I can't tell you how a lot of the videos that I've been seeing on Twitter of people in other countries singing to one another when they live in busier areas where the buildings are closer together, and you have, well, just the one that I saw the other day, that watching it, I literally started to cry, because to me, as someone who is a musician, it's always a special thing to me when people use their talents in such a way to bring joy and happy things into people's lives, especially during times of struggle. But then when you see one person start it and then somebody completely unrelated to them in another building chime in and start playing with them, it just, I find it personally very moving. And, oh, don't fall. I don't have things well placed over here. At some point I have to reorganize this space, but it has not been that time for me yet. Life has been way too chaotic and way too busy. But people are being forced to start to really take care of one another and start to appreciate how our normal everyday lives generally are, and how with freedom's kind of taken away right now, not necessarily because of anyone really holding a gun to anybody's head forcing us, but anyone who is acting responsibly and ethically, heeding the direction of the CDC and heeding the instruction of the WHO, anyone who's taking precautions to, whoop, sometimes they just pop out like that, to do social distancing, to do the self-quarantine. It's funny how in our united sense of chaos and anxiety, you just are seeing more and more people come together to help one another these days. I've been extremely happy to see the very, very loud I'm trying to think of the word. It's basically universally being said that things such as price gouging are completely unacceptable. Things such as trying to profit off of or hurt people or be selfish during this time is unacceptable. Eternity. Buddha nature. Lilac mist. Purity. Rest. What's interesting to me in this is you have literally 3 cards telling you you need to rest. Self-care. Let me look at Lilac Mist real quick. It's one that comes up all the time, but I haven't memorized its meaning. Okay, this is about you're in the right place at the right time. Buddha nature is about meditation. Here you have rest. Purity is kind of self-explanatory. I don't remember the meaning for eternity, but let's just see. This card is encouraging you to detach from the restrictions of your mind and look at your life from a more universal perspective. Interesting how I was just talking about that. If you try to make your life fit entirely into human logic, you are always going to get to a point where it will no longer make any real sense. Trying to make sense of every part of your life is like trying to piece together a jigsaw puzzle while only having a few pieces of the puzzle in your possession. It is human nature to strive to work everything out and control things. I just literally was talking about that. Yet the eternal nature of life is beyond human understanding. The message for you at this time in your life is to focus on the spiritual side of life. Observe your thoughts and fears and consciously surrender them to the universe, aka if you are afraid, and I posted something about this even earlier, try to let go of the things that you cannot control. And I know as human beings, with our eternal need to control everything around us and feeling that we are in power of everything around us, it can be really hard during times when you are powerless to not get frustrated or stressed or increased anxiety or depressed or focus on every single minute detail that the news reel is being incessant at harping on. So this card is literally telling you, don't worry about it. Don't worry about the small details. Things are going to work out. Everything's going to be okay. What's going on right now is meant to happen. And, you know, it's one thing that I've always said is life gives you signs. And one of the biggest signs I can always equate to things is in the mornings when you're trying to get ready to go to work and everything's going wrong and you end up leaving the house late and you're frustrated because now you're going to be late for your job, and you know, you're frustrated, and then all of a sudden you get a traffic jam on top of it and there's an accident. And it didn't happen that long ago. That's the universe's way of giving you a little wink of, even when something looks like a curse, even when something looks like a negative thing, even if you don't get to see how it can be positive, there's usually a reason for it. And I've actually had that situation happen where I'm running late in the morning and then I get stuck in traffic on top of it, only to find out and realize that if I had left the house at my normal time, I likely would have been involved in the accident that I was stuck in traffic trying to get around. And it's the universe's way of just saying you need to slow down. Even when you're frustrated, even when we're blocking something from you, even when things don't make sense, there's a reason for it. And we have your back even when you don't think so. And that is something, trust me, it has been very hard sometimes for me to truly hear, especially when things don't go your way. And when difficult situations like this are going on in the world, it can be really, really hard to think that some sort of higher influence is looking out for us, especially with something like this, of this magnitude. But whether we get to see how and why and what effect could have happened had this not happened, we may never know. We may never know what would have happened in the world had this not happened. Could have been something far worse. There's not going to be any way anybody's going to be able to determine that. All we can do is keep being responsible in and of ourselves and trying to encourage others to do the same. in Dreaming Heart, it says, do not lose sight of your purpose. Know that your efforts are being rewarded, but do not dwell on this, for your greatest reward is the love you are helping to create in the world. Congratulations, you have an open heart, and this is having a positive impact on many around you. You are a healer by nature. I think that card is literally a nod to me. And ironic that I looked it up last. If you've not heard this term, I have been a light worker since I was a small child. And especially in this process, a good number of people who may or may not be light workers are saying, hey, light workers, it's no longer a drill, you're needed now. And basically what a light worker is they're messengers. They are put on the earth with divine purpose to help guide and heal humanity. And I have been a natural born empath. I have been a natural born healer since I was a very small child. Anyone who knows me in my regular day-to-day life knows that pretty much every single one of my pets lives an extraneously long life. Any plants that I have, I cannot I just had to let them go this past year, but I had started with one aloe plant, and this thing over the past 5 years or so just got out of control with its reproduction. I couldn't handle it anymore. I had to let them go this winter because I was literally running out of room in my house for all these plants. But light workers are meant to be placed on Earth to try to help guide humanity during difficult times like this. And it's only so that in the darkest of times people do not lose hope. And that when we see wrong things happening, it is, I guess you could say, our sacred duty to call them out and bring attention to them and say, hey, this is wrong. This needs to be stopped. And I know I'm not the only one, and I'm sure there are others. And if you are one and you're watching this, go ahead and leave a light bulb emoji or something light. A sun emoji or something in the comments down below, just to kind of let me know that you understand what I'm saying and are also lifting up your torch to help in any way you can. Because this world needs people who are helpers. I don't know if, I think I mentioned this in a video this week, I think. But one of my heroes growing up was Mr. Rogers. And he said that whenever something scary was happening in the world, his mother always told him to look for the helpers, because there are always people who are helping. And that's been something that I've been saying this week, others have been saying this week. And door to value. These are interesting cards. Patience. Patience comes up again. Love. Temple path. Woman holding a heart. Yin and yang. Yin and yang is about balance. Indecision. It could very well be that when everything comes to pass that people are going to have many options come to them. And it looks like prosperity and abundance is going to start coming in. Love, equilibrium, woman holding a heart generally means romantic attachment, but it could just mean love in general returning to society. Because I don't know about you guys, but I personally noticed, especially in the last... I'm trying to actually think about it and pinpoint. I would say in the last 5 or 6 years ago, I have noticed a severe increase in people exhibiting narcissism and sociopathy. Now, I am not a psychiatrist. I am not a psychologist. Yes, I took many college courses on those subjects when I went to college because it was a field of study that I was interested in. But I've personally noticed a lot of people losing their heart. Losing their soul. Losing their ethics and morality and just basically losing their way. Becoming very self-absorbed. Becoming very much all about themselves and not caring about the effects of their actions and the effects their actions have on other people. So I get the feeling that what's been going on may very well be acting, because you see 2 love cards here, to restore that humility, restore that care and concern for other people outside of your own self and outside of your own world. Personally, it's been really wonderful to see society unite against these people who have gone out to hoard products and try to resell them for a profit, and saying, this is wrong, this should not be happening. Before this event, I can't tell you how many times, if you saw something like that, I'll give a random example, and I get that this is in no way, make, shape, or form equal to the products that are being hoarded and bought ad nauseum right now. So don't think that I'm comparing the two or holding one to the same level as the other. But I'll give an example of, say, the Shane Dawson Jeffree Star release. And so many people wanted those products. And then you had resellers clog the sales, buying multiples of things to then resell them to the people who wanted them the most at a very large increase in profit. And I've personally felt that is a disgusting thing to do. I refuse to give people like that my money. I am not that I've not been someone who generally suffers from FOMO, fear of missing out. So I've been of the mindset that I'm going to fully wait until there is a restock and give my money to the people who have earned it, who put in the hard work and who worked to make these products, because resellers didn't do jack except take things from others because they could. Not because they wanted them, not because they cared about it. See what just popped out? But simply for no other purpose than greed. And I know things are hard right now. I know things are scary right now. But I'm going to say directing your anger at people who have been more affluent isn't the thing to do right now, because you know what? This isn't their fault either. So many people I'm seeing on social media are telling celebrities and people, open your pocketbooks and give away your money. Everyone's hurting right now. Not just people, regular everyday situations. Everyone. And just because someone is an actor, somebody is a celebrity, and somebody may have made millions from something, doesn't in any way, make, shape, or form mean that they can personally support the entirety of the world's population of citizens simply because they have more money. I would kind of see it more if people were simply directing that at people who were in the top 1% of wealth in the world. But then I look at people like I think he's a business owner or CEO something in China, who heard that we don't have tests, and he reached into his own pocket to order lots of tests. Cornucopia. Action. Action is being taken. Woman holding a coin. This is a financial thing. Look at the card that popped up again. There's a lot of financial stuff coming up with this situation, and I find that interesting. But caring connections was the one that popped out. Blossoming abundance. Door to personal healing and happiness. Strategy. Victory. It's like the second or third time that information has come up. We're going to see a large shift in financial stuff. To what degree, I don't know, but it looks like that whatever is going on is going to turn out just fine. Because everything is pointing towards good things financially. It's one thing I frequently say, it's always darkest before the dawn. And right when you think things will never get better, and right when you think things will never improve, something happens and the things that you thought were never going to let up all of a sudden fall away and things shift. Things do not stay constantly horrible or constantly good. Oop. Sorry. Little hands, big cards. And because of that, it really is important to hold on to hope. Surrender to the divine. Don't worry about the things outside of your control. Win-win outcome is in the forecast, and your commitment is being tested. Commitment to change. Let me bring out the Whispering Woods cards, and that will be the last ones. Sorry about the background noise, especially if this is one of the first videos you've ever seen. I live on a very, very busy street, and because of that, we get a lot of the traffic that goes to and from the highways. So what do you have to say about this reading? Ooh. Adventure, live wild and free. Okay. Wish, make a wish with a dandelion in the wind. Funny how it's spring and the very first flower besides crocuses that generally pops up in spring are the dandelions. Which I'm just gonna do my little soapbox moment. Don't kill dandelions. Don't spray your lawns with chemicals. They're not weeds. Dandelions are medicinal herbs, and they are critical for our pollinators that are just waking up in the spring. Because dandelions and wildflowers that pop up in the lawns are the first flowers, they are the first source of food and nourishment to any of our pollinators, be they bees, be they flies, because yes, flies are pollinators, interestingly enough. Idle hours. Take time out to lie in the emerald grass. Very interesting. Cleanse. Wash your weary spirit clean and take a walk in the wooded glades. Music. There is a melody to be heard in the deepest parts of the woods if we only listen. Funny how this situation has forced everyone to slow down and reconnect with things. And slowing down has worked to make it so people are listening more to one another and listening more to things that they haven't necessarily been paying attention to. And the last card is light. Look to the space between the trees for answers. Which kind of goes back to what I was saying. It's always darkest before the dawn. So know that there is hope, that things are going to start getting better soon. And I'm putting the date out there. I sense April 11th is going to be around the time that we start really getting back to normal. That's my own intuitive pull from this. Only time will tell, and I hope this reading in some way may bring some comfort, may bring some assistance in any way, and for everyone, for all of us, I wish us all love, healing, peace, prosperity, peace of mind, peace of heart, peace of spirit, peace of soul. And until next time, I wish us all brightest blessings, and blessed be.